Cutting edge guests, awesome, uncensored, jaw-dropping information, plus funny memes, good deeds, and loads of laughter. Kind of have it all. Ladies and gentlemen, if your soul's awake, then welcome, because you're in the right place. Welcome to Send It Sunday, you divine lions and lionesses. $20,000 an ounce gold. Is that possible by the end of this year, the next 9 months? It absolutely is. In fact, I'll be showing you the proof, where it is, where it stands right now, and how gold's war cry, how the war in Iran and the sovereign wealth fund signals the fall of the fiat empire forever. Make no mistake, even though you see almost $5,300 an ounce gold reported in North America right now, it has crossed $6,000 in the dark market in China. You know that they know and are prepared to get going. Stand by. Begin soon. Share this with awakened patrons everywhere. Welcome back to the Sovereign Soul Show. I am your host, Brad Wozny. Welcome all of you to March 1st, 2026, 5:02 p.m. Eastern Time. You know our creed is love, levity, and liberty, and you are witnessing this, living in this at this time. You are one of the lucky out of 250 million sperm that it takes that go to fertilize an egg. You are the one who won that lottery ticket. If you've seen any of the shows we've done recently, we're talking about that, talking about the grandiose cosmos we're in, and $20,000 an ounce gold. So, hey, what do we have over here? This is our blinged Buddha. This is our mascot, the blinged Buddha, and he's got a gold chain around his neck with a silver token. Happens to be an XRP token, which is awesome. We're going to be focusing this show on everything that you've seen going on, from Epstein files to the attacks and taking down the Iranian regime, as a 100% overt warfare on obliterating the deep state, obliterating them, just as President Trump promised. And it's truly remarkable when you look at this from a diplomatic standpoint, where you have Secretary of State Marco Rubio. You're dealing with an international alliance where China has backed off. Russia is not involved in the picture, even though they're ships. Just last week, we're doing naval exercises around that region of the world. And Trump just gave it. They don't like what we're saying. We're good. Yep, there it goes. How is that, right? We've got internet at nearly 300 megabytes per second going off around the world, but there's nothing to sell except truth, right? 9 Iranian Navy ships have been sank. He's going to obliterate the rest of them. He's already said that. He gave them an option, which is truly amazing. This is all interlinked together to anything that is deep state, tainted by the deep state, whether it was the medical industrial complex, or you go down to the Federal Reserve banking system, and then obviously to the militarization and waging war upon the people. That is why you're going to see gold with a $20,000 an ounce war cry. That's kind of my prediction. I'm going to show you backed up empirical evidence, statistically significant right now, especially just in the last 3.5 weeks, to give that 100% credence between now and the end of the year. So I believe this is an incoming sovereign wealth transfer and the fiat massacre. Now, when I was accepted into the honors economics program, the graphs, by the way, you're seeing only go to March 1st today, where gold is reported right now in the dark market of China before it actually opens trading. It's trading at $6,000 an ounce off market right now. Gold, US dollar an ounce, $6,000. Even though you can see in the American marketplace, it's around $5,265 to $5,300, just nudging it. It's $6,000 right now in China. So what you can see from that chart that I'm sharing with you on the screen right now is it goes up to March 1st, and then all the rest is based off empirical evidence and the idea that it'll be $20,000 an ounce. I'm not telling you that. I've never been a financial advisor, an investment advisor, nor a doctor, never want to be. I am just a guy who can read things and come up with his own conclusions via deductive reasoning. Here's one of those right there, that chart on the screen that shows you contracts at $20,000 an ounce. And by the way, that is for December 2026. We're going to keep coming back to that because it's really powerful. But let's just go to the incredible, benevolent servicemen, servicewomen of the armed forces, particularly of America. But when you look at this, it's incredible that you have, from a diplomatic standpoint, that you have Saudi Arabia involved, and you have other kingdoms in the Middle East involved in taking out the deep state in the Iranian regime, and then all of their proxies from the Houthis all across it. So this meme kind of summarize it. This is not a war. It's a rescue mission for the 90 million hostages held in Iran for the last 47 years, almost 50 years since the regime was started. 1974, remember, they took the Americans 444 days, the hostages. And remember, nearly every extension of terrorism has come back from state-sponsored terrorism from this regime, and they've set up others. And remember that Obama, on his way out as president of the United States, gave over $1.7 billion in cash to the Iranian regime. So actions speak louder than words, right? And here's a great couple of funny memes that are posted by U.S. Homeland Security News. Here's the Ayatollah with the 72 virgins, all goats. It's pretty hilarious. Wall Street Mav just posted this. Canada is weeks away from owning a nuclear weapon. We cannot allow that to happen. Exactly. So come on, Mr. President Trump, follow through with our quo warrantos, our letters to JAG, the U.S. Army CID letters, and so many others. And let's make it one great American continent in public, because nobody's really going to do anything, and they want it right now. Here is Trump's bad guy calendar, which is just awesome. There's January, Maduro, February, El Mencho, March. Well, just going right into March because it's still active in Iran. The Ayatollah and all the regime in April. Carney. There you go. Taking out that central casting actor off the stage. Look at all the ties and everything that has gone on, right? So we shall see. We shall see if he will be arrested. Big shout out to Lieutenant Colonel Ricardo Bossi for posting this. Here it is. You're not going to see this on the media anyway. These are celebrations happening everywhere around the world, in cities around the world, since Ayatollah was pronounced dead, guaranteed. Australia, Canada, Britain, Switzerland, Germany, and France, all across the board. Hey, I've even got it from Ryan Garrettson in Canada, live Vancouver, Canada, yesterday, Saturday. Iranian flags, Israeli flags, American flags, downtown Vancouver, BC. That's on the waterfront, by the way, because I spent a number of years living in Vancouver, as many people know. So you just can't stop what's coming and what has already happened, right? You have Trump being shouted his name, celebrations for people in the streets of what is truly magnificent and freedom. And just to all of you who are watching this show, the broadcast or listening later to the podcast, bear in mind that you will still run into normies, those who are indoctrinated, those who are no longer of our human species or race, and they will take anything that you say that has to do with their freedom, their sovereignty, freedom and sovereignty of the world, freedom of actual choice, and they will have a counter argument to it. This is just an amazing video from Matt at XRP Patriot, incredible patriot himself. Thank you, Matt. We know each other by virtual sense. A lot of us have never met over the course of this and are aware of each other. This video summarizes it all. They got a little bit of ABBA song in the background. For those who are listening and not watching, it has a top intersection of this video of Iranian women celebrating their freedom, taking off the masks, the burqas, you know, really moving around the streets like they were 50 years ago before the radical Islam takeover. Yet American women protesting it, protesting freedom. Right? You're going to have those people, whether it's a financial advisor who doesn't want to and have you getting any some of precious metals diversification because you're selling away the client, you name it. But it is an incredible time to be alive. Here's another LOL meme for all of you. This is from Wokeness, Mexico's president right now. And this is also a reminder of the incredible things that have been happening, right? You have civil war, cartels in Mexico, backed by United States military, designated foreign terrorist organizations. And you have those cartel members who are fighting Mexican police, Mexican military, even in the streets. And some people have been injured, and a number of them were confirmed dead, as we reported. And this is a wipeout, obliteration of the deep state across the world, And it has to happen. There has to be a cleansing. And it's really unfortunate we've lost benevolent lives in this. Yet, imagine what they continue to do in the shadows up to this point in time. And we know by actions and deeds or lack thereof exactly where men, women stand on these matters, don't they? Here's another final funny meme from Il Donaldo Trumple on ZZ Ping, as if he's sending a text to Donald. Sorry, I call you asshole, Donald. Are we good? Checking in. Now we know that they are part of the White Hat Alliance all across the board. Some people can still contest that. That's fine. No worries whatsoever. What we're really keyed in on here is the return to God's money, right? Sovereignty and wealth. Now, later this week, I'll have back on here. Here's the amazing book that it's written, one of the two, by Dr. Peter C. Earl, PhD economics. He has an MBA. He is a U.S. Army Ranger and graduated from the U.S. Military Academy at West Point. And this is one of his books you can find on Amazon, Gold in Uncertain Times. I'm going to read you the back cover of the book because this is personally autographed from him to me. So thank you, Dr. Earl, for sending it. There it is, February 2026. Hey, Brad, great meeting and speak with you. Let's do it again sometime. That'll be this week. Stay tuned, everybody. Regards, Pete Earl. Incredible man, right? And he is also a research fellow, director of economics and economic freedom at the AIER, the American Institute for Economic Research, which was established in 1933 because the founders were pissed off at the stealing of America's gold and the wealth from Americans who were returning to the gold standard. And very powerful. Why $20,000 an ounce gold? And why am I showing you this book right now? Here's the paragraph. I'm going to read to you. There's a name right there. Gold in Uncertain Times. Gold has stood the test of time as one of the most valuable and enduring assets in human history. For millennia, gold has been revered not just for its beauty, but for its utility as money, as a store of value, and as a hedge against economic uncertainty. From ancient civilizations to modern-day financial markets, gold has maintained its central role in the global economy. It is no surprise, then, that despite the evolving financial landscape, gold continues to capture the interest of investors, policymakers, and economic experts alike. For all time, God's money, gold, silver, precious metals, that's where it's at, right? And I showed you that chart earlier. We're going to talk about this in depth right now because you're in the movement and the momentum, which, remember, the 16th Amendment in the United States Constitution was never ratified, and that's supposed to give power to the IRS. And where was the IRS created again? 1913 Act, the FBI, the ADL, the IRS, and the Federal Reserve Board. There's nothing federal. There's nothing reserve about it. Already slurring my words, going so fast here, trying to get it out, all this information to you. And Dan Scavino, just on the 25th of February, a couple days ago, said time to abolish the IRS. And you saw that in the amazing State of the Union speech, which happened just this week. Like, this week's incredible. What has been happening from a freedom standpoint at the high level on a return to sovereignty and God across our incredible planet, right? And in the SOTU, the State of the Union speech, among those incredible announcements, Trump was talking about the tariffs and how we're bringing so much money in. Pretty soon, we won't have to do federal income taxes for Americans. Now, remember, if you're in Washington, D.C., or you're a member of the federal government, by virtue of that, you're contracting to pay IRS federal income taxes, and that's it. But you look at the 16th Amendment, and now you have the Deputy Chief of Staff, and Dan Scavino Jr., who's been with President Trump since 45 and through 46 and now 47. Time to abolish the IRS. So that's what they're getting ready to wake everybody up toward. And it's an incredible time for all of you to be excited as to what's to come. And right around the same time that he posted that, time to abolish the IRS, we had silver hit 91 and then 94. And when it hit 91, COMEX glitched. The CME had to shut down and halt trading on precious metals once again. Surprise, surprise. They had a technical issue. They halted trading, but they were caught freaking red-handed. And now it's all out there in the world, and more people are waking up to that. The paper money scam controllers, suppressors, price suppression, etc., whether it's class action lawsuits that have been paid off and settled, and these lazy little fines, and the old 1 or 2 person is a patsy and goes to jail on behalf of, all the others, which is awesome. See, we're over the target, coming out with the truth. Whoever's behind it, they don't like that truth. So here we are. Now, you know that we are partners with Goldco. That is who also set up the amazing Dr. Pierce Earl and I, this incredible warrior, American badass, and brilliant man. So with Goldco, you can still call them and get a free call and get a free report on the silver squeeze. You go to www.buddhalovesgold.com once again. And you can also see here, there's a QR code. You can scan that, go over to it. It's 100% free. And I would recommend you bring your investment advisor, financial advisor to the phone call that you set up so that you can have a consultation with them and the #1 precious metals advisor in the country of America in 2024. Be right back after a special message from Goldco. And then we will continue where I show you the charts on the $20,000 an ounce gold by the end of this year. All right, you sovereign souls, now is the time to protect your money with gold and silver if you already have not. And if you are and you have a chance to do so, I highly encourage to do so even more, because gold and silver will launch the golden age, which Commander-in-Chief Trump has continuously referenced.
The dollar is going down, and it's not a pretty picture, and it's not being sustained by proper policy and proper thinking. This was an opportunity, and maybe an opportunity to show people what's happening with the dollar so that we can do something about it.
Get some if you can. BuddhaLovesGold.com will take you to our partner Goldco. They have over 6,000 5-star reviews. This is why now is the time to buy gold and silver, because we have thousands of Americans buying gold today. The rising inflation has reduced our purchasing power. Dysfunctional politics don't work for us. The US dollar has lost over 97% of its value since 1913, while the price of gold has increased over 9,000%. Silver has fared well against the dollar too, with the silver price increasing over 4,500% since 1913. It's about wealth protection. Physical precious metals act as a hedge against dips in volatile markets. Go over to BuddhaLovesGold.com. That's www.BUDDHA, BuddhaLovesGold.com. You will download your free silver and gold guide today, and our great people over there at Goldco will take care of you. That's BuddhaLovesGold.com. You'll see a picture of me right on there, Brad Wozny. And once again, BRICS is the new financial system. Asset-backed precious metals is the way of the future. This is about financial control. Diversifying your assets with gold and silver puts you in control of your wealth at BuddhaLovesGold.com.
Have it, right? Once again, President Trump continued to speak about the golden age. Now, I told you in the beginning, in the trailer, that right now, over in China, gold is trading on the dark market, the market that happens before the exchanges open up. And by the way, the Kuwait exchange is closed. Kuwait exchange is closed. So we will see very soon, in the next couple of hours, what other exchanges are closed, because they've had Iranian missiles and Iranian drones, which have struck in Abu Dhabi and around the district there in Dubai. And then obviously you've seen them rain down all across Israel. And so you're sitting here watching Israel, Saudi Arabia, other nations as well, led by America's military might and power, freaking awesome, to take out the Iranian regime and free the people of the world and stop the financial cartel and the crazy satanic deep state demonic bloodthirsty vampires. And I say that without any exaggeration. You know, like in Iran, if a woman was wearing eyeshadow, they would carve out her eyes. Little children have been hung to death for making tweets. And X yesterday, Twitter X, Elon Musk confirmed that they had the highest amount of traffic and usage of all time. And that's because you have the freedom. They're burning the effigies of Baal, Moloch, the demons all across Iran right now and returning. And it has the largest Christian church and Christian presence in that entire section of the world. And let's remember that Iran is Persia. Persian Gulf, anybody? Ring a bell? And so Prince of Persia was there, and so was Cyrus. Cyrus, who went in and tore down the walls of Babylon. Cyrus the Great, right? And President Trump has been referred to as the Cyrus Great of our time because, you know, our creator, our great omnipresence of divinity, the all-knowing, the all-loving soul who created all of us and everything, and we are an expression of, doesn't often choose, you know, the most perfect people to take care of things. But when they stand up and they say, I see the light, I see the truth, they get going. That's pretty amazing. So here we are, $20,000 an ounce gold. How is that possible? Right there. Yeah, exactly. Kelly Grove is in the chat on YouTube. Exciting times. And yes, this week is epic. 100%. Great. I see all of you in Rumble too. We got Caffey 25 on the ball from Coburg. I see you as well. 68. Ab McKimma 606. Well done. Jack Sachs in Australia. Appreciate it. Illinois. Rock No Mo 86. I like that. That's a funny and a cool handle. And Mushka 500. So here we are. You are seeing right now COMEX futures contracts for gold at $20,000 an ounce going up. This is $15,000 an ounce. And then we have them at $20,000 an ounce. That was on Wednesday at 11,000 contracts. And by close Friday, it was 14,000. Again, that source is CME and Bloomberg. I'm going to continue to dive into this for you. So that means that people, institutions are betting that gold will hit $15,000, $20,000 an ounce before the close of this year. And they're betting millions and millions and millions of dollars on that to hopefully make billions of dollars back. That's live. That's out there right now. This is something that you can take to the bank. So let's remember here. I want you to just look at the screen and remember this order of ascension. January 1st, 2023, gold was $1,825 an ounce. A year later, January 1, 2024, $2,065 an ounce. Then a year later, January 1, 2025, $2,624 an ounce. And today, March 1st, 2026, $6,000 an ounce in a dark market over in China and $5,285 an ounce in America. And they're predicting $20,000 an ounce in the next 9 months. 9 months to get up there. So you're seeing an $1,825 to $6,000 an ounce in a 3-year period of time, which is real relevant prices today. And that's, again, thinking about the suppression. Well, I want to take you over to this report. Let me just pull it up here right now. And when you know this one's from JP Morgan, and remember, anything that comes out from these big guys, they're still doing like these small little valuations, even though it's more drastic than they have in the past. Well, here it is. Up here on Goldfix on JP Morgan sees $9,300 gold peaking in the monetary reset. Monetary reset. Look at the name of the show. Look at the thumbnail for this show today. We are talking about the freaking obliteration, yes, of the deep state. By extension, the deep state has enslaved us all with money and taxes and everything else, with indoctrination too. And by virtue of that enslavement, we also have the debt. They tell us that debt is real, even though they make it, they create it, they own it, and they can obliterate it, but they tell us that we have to pay for it, something that they have made up. So with JP Morgan saying that the monetary resets here, that's JP Morgan, and $9,300 an ounce. Do you think that they have a little bit of inside information as to what's coming? Because this here is a massive signal to the fall of the fiat Federal Reserve paper money shell game BS that we have all been lied to about indoctrinated in, and it is unveiling big time right before our eyes. So there's that report. That's JP Morgan Chase, right? Revising everything. Now, I ran a calculation. Let's just say, because this is all hypothetical, right? It's not there, but somebody, 14,000 futures contracts right now on COMEX CME are sitting there banking on gold getting up to $20,000 an ounce in December so it can make profit on placing those big bets. Over the last 3 years, especially, we have seen central banks around the world, BRICS nations going to a gold-backed, asset-backed standard, right? That's Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, Saudi Arabia, part of BRICS. And they had 135 plus countries at the last count that had applied for or also been accepted into the BRICS nations before President Trump took the helm again in a public fashion. Who is buying the $20,000 gold calls? And that again is on GoldFix, talking about it. And here you have the forward curve for December 31st after January of 2026. Wow. And that one's 2025, actually, excuse me. So you're sitting here going, wait, what is it that people know that you don't? Well, I mean, we keep sending you the signals, which is part of the thumbnail of the New World Descending, where it's a return to sovereignty in God and God's money and precious metals. You can't beat people over the head enough with this. It's up to them to truly listen in from a heart center and see exactly what is happening in the gold and silver markets for the massive takedown of the deep state, right? And here it is right now. That's exactly how banks are chattering in this meme. We've shared this meme a number of times, and it always gets a lot of laughs because they know exactly what is going on. Now, remember, JP Morgan was like betting long now on silver and messing that up, right? So you've had the CME halt trading due to a technical issue. Once again, a technical issue. Suddenly, surprisingly, just like they did, and that was Wednesday of this week, and they were caught red-handed with traders making hundreds of millions of trades behind the scenes. So you have gas contracts that you can't trade, precious metals contracts you can't trade, but somebody and something funny and fishy is going on because trades were made behind the scenes. Unlike we saw Thursday of the American Thanksgiving 2025, just a couple months ago, and CME shut down due to a technical issue. A server was overheating. Of course, that's a heavy trading day. So all the signals are there for everyone. Here it is on this X post confirming it as well. Walter Bloomberg on the $20,000 gold calls surging despite a record sell-off. And here's what he writes just in the first few paragraphs. I'll read it to you. Deep out of the money, bullish bets on gold are building even after a historic correction. After COMEX gold futures briefly topped 5,600 an ounce in late January, a month ago, before suffering their largest one-day drop in decades, when that was the run, we know, traders began accumulating December $15,000 to $20,000 call spreads. The position has grown to roughly 11,000 contracts. It's now at 14,000, even with prices consolidating near $5,000. Wild. Again, 1,800 in 2023, 6,000 on the dark market now, or almost 5,300 March 1st in the Americas. And the other thing too, let's also remember, let's take you through all of the other statistics as to what is happening, right? So let's go to the CME halt. You had that outage on Wednesday. So you have chaos that was created, suspending everything. And then we have the Mexican cartel war. Now what we have are mines closed down, strangling transportation, not getting silver concentrate out of the country. And Mexico accounts for approximately 20 to 24% of the global supply of silver. January 1, China stopped silver exports unless you got a special license. And then a week and a half ago, just over a week ago, rather, Mexico stops. So you had 70% of the world's silver supply stopped on New Year's Day in China, and another 20 to 24%, or 90 to 94% of the world's silver supply stopped, halted. What do you think is going to happen when the wheels come off the suppression? And where those wheels come off is COMEX in America, not LBMA in Europe, a little bit, sure, but the majority, COMEX and CME. And they don't have, by their own reports, enough silver to fill the rest of the month of March. They don't. They don't. So what do you think is going to happen? What other amazing things happened this week? India, the country of India, second largest population of people in the world, announced this week they're pulling out of the LBMA. So the London Market Exchange and the London Bullion Market Association, gone. See you. We are doing it our way, and we are going to choose our spot price. That's the freaking country of India. And again, Shanghai is in a frenzy. You've got premiums on gold pushing $6,000 an ounce right now. It's freaking incredible. Incredible. And we have silver was announced as a strategic metal via Trump's executive order. And once again, in January of this year, you have 232 tags to silver critical, securing supplies, fortified reserves, and crushes the saboteurs in the suppression paper market and those who are trying to push fake silver instead of actual real concentrate of 0.999. Now, that's right. You have a 107, an anatomical number. It's number 47 on the periodic table. How amazing is that? So once again, going to run it for Goldco. I encourage everybody. This is America only. Wherever you are, I would hope I'd have some physical precious metals and tangible assets just in case. And set up, book your free call with Goldco. Get it done as soon as possible, and also get the free report. Can't be any better than that, free. And they also have, depending on your qualified orders, a little bit of an instant match. Incredible kicker. Here it is again. We'll be back right after this.
All right, you sovereign souls, now is the time to protect your money with gold and silver if you already have not. And if you are and you have a chance to do so, I highly encourage to do so even more, because gold and silver will launch the golden age, which Commander-in-Chief Trump has continuously referenced.
The dollar is going down, and it's not a pretty picture, and it's not being sustained by proper policy and proper thinking. This was an opportunity, and maybe an opportunity to show people what's happening with the dollar so that we can do something about it.
Get some if you can. BuddhaLovesGold.com will take you to our partner Goldco. They have over 6,000 five-star reviews. This is why now is the time to buy gold and silver, because we have thousands of Americans buying gold today. The rising inflation has reduced our purchasing power. Dysfunctional politics don't work for us. The US dollar has lost over 97% of its value since 1913, while the price of gold has increased over 9,000%. Silver has fared well against the dollar too, with the silver price increasing over 4,500% since 1913. It's about wealth protection. Physical precious metals act as a hedge against dips in volatile markets. Go over to BuddhaLovesGold.com. That's www.BUDDHA, BuddhaLovesGold.com. You will download your free silver and gold guide today, and our great people over there at Goldco will take care of you. That's BuddhaLovesGold.com. You'll see a picture of me right on there, Brad Wozny. And once again, BRICS is the new financial system. Asset-backed precious metals is the way of the future. This is about financial control. Diversifying your assets with gold and silver puts you in control of your wealth at BuddhaLovesGold.com.
Right on, and there it is. You can hit the QR code up there. I'll take you straight to it. It's available for Americans only right now, and we know as has been announced over the last several weeks and reported and shared here on the show, that the majority of bullion retailers in North America and other places around the world are sold out, the majority. And you have a 3 to 5 month waiting period. Now, that waiting period, I anticipate, is going to get worse because of what also just happened with the Iranian Navy, the IRGC. They went out on VHF radio in the Strait of Hormuz to all the ships and all of the traffic, right? Those are the ones who supported the Houthis. Those are the ones launching the strikes against the American Navy over the last several years during Biden's term. And they said, do not go anywhere or we will fire upon you, to commercial vessels. And they were shutting it down. And they said, this is effectively closed. And there are reports of isolated attacks on tankers near the strait. You know, there's a Palau. Palau is an actual country, and a lot of people haven't heard of it. Small country, Palau flag skylights set on fire off of Oman, and claims of strikes on U.S. and U.K. tankers. We also saw strikes on an Exxon Mobil field in Saudi Arabia. And commercial traffic, just report, I researched this right before coming on here with all of you. Commercial shipping traffic has plummeted up to 70% via the tracking data from Marine Traffic or Kepler. That's about 240 vessels that are anchored or are turning around, turning back. So what you're seeing here as well, obviously, and this is a campaign that President Trump said will continue to happen over the rest of the week. They will continue bombing those strategic sites of the Iranian regime through the rest of the week. So you know for the rest of the week right now that you don't want to be a commercial on a commercial ship in the midst of a war, right? And it's not only a gunfight. Many of you have seen the footage that you have what they call suicide drones, you know, the kamikaze drones, which to me is still a freaking missile. You don't have a live person in it. You know, you shoot it at, might look more like a plane than an actual Tomahawk or a cruise missile or air, ground to ground. But at the end of the day, and they're firing them into residential buildings. So you're going to have commercial traffic in that area of the world cease for a little while until the shooting stops. And you're going to have the incredible Iranian people who have been begging for freedom from oppression for nearly half a century need to take back their country. We already know, and I reported a few months ago, that Iraq said that they would assist the Iranian people in standing up their currency and their exchange. Whew. Now we can go down the path of the Iraqi dinar because that is actually backed by gold. There's gold again. Now, I did the calculation that if gold reaches $20,000 an ounce at any point in time, this is an easy calculation for anybody to do because you can take the current trading ratio of where it is, gold to silver right now, and just walk it out and go, well, if gold goes to 20,000, then what's silver? Well, silver would be about $375 an ounce, $375 an ounce. So you'll get a quintuple price of gold. When you're trading at silver right now, still reported in the American Exchange this Sunday night, it's 5:39 p.m. Eastern at $94, $94.50. And you go up to $375. Oh, I mean, you want to do simple math, you just do 94 plus 94, you double that. What's that going to be? 188. And you're going to double that again. Well, that already gets you right to that 372 level. And it's going to be roughly approximately 375 an ounce if gold goes to that, staying at the same ratio. But we also know that by going back to constitutional money in 1792 Act in the Philadelphia Mint to print gold and silver coin, that the metallism ratio is 15 to 1. So can you really take 59 to 1 right now? Or should you do it by 15 to 1? Either way, it is an incredible time to be alive, to watch this freedom and the fact that you all have the power at your fingertips to join in, to share truth, to get involved, to do your own research, to pull it up for yourselves, to get on a free call, to get a free report, to do the analysis, to determine what's right for you in your life. It's awesome. Take it from me, for a guy who went there to do an honors economics degree at Wilfrid Laurier University indoctrination camp, which back in the 90s was claimed, and it really did live up to that, as the Harvard Business School of the North. So the Harvard of Canada, Wilfrid Laurier University School of Business and Economics, which I attended, an honors school of business honors economics program, which I was accepted into. And sitting here going, I wish they just taught it this simple, right? But they don't do simple, do they? Sovereign is simple. Sovereign is easy. So here we are, everybody. We are at the point in time, this year, for the America 250 celebration. And I see this being a celebration for the world, for those who stand on the side of freedom and true love heart-centered for everybody. And we're sitting here right now that the premium buyback on silver in Shanghai is $120 an ounce. So you can literally say to yourself that in the last 8 weeks, since January 1st, yeah, I know it's a leap year, so I'm kind of thinking 7.5 weeks, but almost 8 weeks, you have seen silver hit $120 an ounce, not once, but now twice, because it's $120 an ounce in China on the premium buyback. And the gold premiums are $6,000 an ounce. You've never seen $6,000 an ounce gold before. And it crossed 5,500 to nearly 5,600 a number of weeks ago, just weeks ago. And now you're seeing it again. All of the resistance is gone. There is no ceiling, there is no cap, and then you have a price floor that will be instituted by the American Treasury as required by law. And they will get rid of that Gold Act, the Gold Reserve Act of 1934, leverage it maybe, or maybe they'll keep it with just a reprice mechanism so that the price of gold is no longer $44.44 an ounce. Since 1934. This is where we are, everybody. Thank you so much. And by the way, congratulations for everyone who got outside last night, didn't have chemtrail clouds. We're very fortunate for that and got to see the nearly full moon and the 6th planetary alignment. This isn't a true picture of the planetary alignment. It's a representation. They actually don't totally line up like this in an elliptical orbit, but it's pretty bang on. I had to say that because we have people who maybe go in the comments because they're soul trolls and be like, that's not the real picture. Yeah, I know it's not the real picture, but it's an interpretation, right? So here we are. And I want you to all know that we are sitting here at an incredible red blood moon that will be coming up March 3rd, 3/3, and it will be visible at 3:33 a.m. Thank you very much, Kelly. Appreciate you coming on the show, putting in some great comments. Thank you all. We are kicking butt from a sovereignty standpoint, and tap into the collective consciousness of ascension, of freedom, of wealth, of abundance in all its forms, right? Spiritual, physical, financial, because this is where we are. It's a great time to be alive. We'll see you next time. Incredible shows dropping this week. And remember, I got Dr. Peter C. Earl booked, coming back on, PhD, economics, MBA, U.S. military academy graduate, and U.S. Army Ranger, an all-around American badass, to give you his perspective as well on Goldco. So thank you to Goldco. Thank you all for supporting us in the show. Share this, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye now.
All right, you sovereign souls, now is the time to protect your money with gold and silver if you already have not. And if you are and you have a chance to do so, I highly encourage to do so even more, because gold and silver will launch the golden age, which Commander-in-Chief Trump has continuously referenced.
The dollar is going down, and it's not a pretty picture, and it's not being sustained by proper policy and proper thinking. This was an opportunity, and maybe an opportunity to show people what's happening with the dollar so that we can do something about it.
Get some if you can. BuddhaLovesGold.com will take you to our partner Goldco. They have over 6,000 5-star reviews. This is why now is the time to buy gold and silver, because we have thousands of Americans buying gold today. The rising inflation has reduced our purchasing power. Dysfunctional politics don't work for us. The US dollar has lost over 97% of its value since 1913, while the price of gold has increased over 9,000%. Silver has fared well against the dollar too, with the silver price increasing over 4,500%. since 1913. It's about wealth protection. Physical precious metals act as a hedge against dips in volatile markets. Go over to BuddhaLovesGold.com. That's www.BUDDHA, BuddhaLovesGold.com. You will download your free silver and gold guide today, and our great people over there at Goldco will take care of you. That's BuddhaLovesGold.com. You'll see a picture of me right on there, Brad Wozny. And once again, BRICS is the new financial system. Asset-backed precious metals is the way of the future. This is about financial control. Diversifying your assets with gold and silver puts you in control of your wealth at BuddhaLovesGold.com.